Hi everyone. So I was gonna do this as a live video, but I think I'm just gonna do it on IGTV and link it to my stories. Because A, I can save it longer and whatever, repost it if people miss it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm testing this out because I don't know if I love live, but we will see. So we're gonna do this. Also, I'm posting late when most people are asleep. So I was with clients earlier and, yeah, so that took up time. And anyway, so yeah, I'm here now, and we're gonna do this day one of the energy assessment thing that we're not gonna call a challenge, but it is kind of a challenge, or it can be, or whatever. I'm just trying to help you out. So, um, if you saw my live that I posted Sunday, I announced that I would be sharing a process that I use, and I call it the energy assessment process or the energy expenditure assessment, as I called it in my post earlier today. Um, so that process is what you, your mom, everyone can use when we feel like something may be draining our energy, or you're always tired, you don't feel motivated, you don't quite feel like yourself, or even if you're just taking on a new responsibility, a new role, a new hobby, whatever it is, something that takes up time, and you just want to know if you are using your best time management, best approach to time management. So this is good for that. This is good for if you just like feel blah and you want to know what's going on, get to the bottom of it. So it is a very introspective process, but I think all my processes probably are, other than like, yeah, I don't know, even like clearing out your closet can be introspective. So like I'm not even gonna. Anyway, you know where I'm going with this. So yeah, so this will be the first day that I'm sharing, and I'm gonna do one strategy a day. And so yeah, let's dive right in. So the first approach to solving any kind of problem, you have to realize that something's wrong in the first place, right? Otherwise you won't go looking for solutions. You'll think you're fine until, whatever, things kind of fall apart. So this is all about picking up those signs early and intervening and rerouting your path to wherever it is you're trying to go, or just like making modifications to help you get there, you know in better shape and without exhausting yourself in the process unnecessarily. Okay, so first step is to determine that something is wrong. And we usually know that something is wrong, and that, that we may have what I call energy vampires in our life, because there's usually signs that tell us that something is off balance. And the 5 signs I'm gonna cover are difficulty getting motivated. A lot of you on, especially like the morning affirmations, or I did a procrastination post, and there were some people who said that they just struggle to get motivated. And it applies to creative energy too. If you're a creator and you're having difficulty coming up with something new, this could be at play. Or I think it's kind of natural too, if that's what you do, to, you're not going to have a great idea every moment, and that's fine. But I'm talking about just chronic not being able to, like be productive at work, struggling to get out of bed all the time, not wanting to do, even like, let's be honest, like some people with depression and anxiety, you don't even want to do the basics, like you might not feel like brushing your teeth, and people go through that, and it is what it is. And you just kind of have to embrace that as a sign that it's time to look into your current approach to wellness, and head off problems before they worsen. So okay, sign number 1 is difficulty getting motivated. And sign number two is going to be if you're easily irritated. And I don't mean if you're just like, well, actually, you know what? If you are just generally a grumpy person, this could apply to you. Because there are some people who just don't have issues that they have not even addressed over the years and they're irritable all the time. So that's possible, but more what I'm talking about is you're normally happy or you're normally okay, but you just don't want to be bothered anymore and you don't know why. You don't feel like socializing. You don't feel like going out. You don't feel like, you keep to yourself at work, even though your coworkers are fine and they're nice people, whatever the case may be. If you're normally a bit more outgoing, but people just bother you more than they did before, you might have an energy vampire in your life that is sucking up the energy you usually allocate to being more social. So, sign number three, I'm looking at my notes. Sign number three is difficulty concentrating. This is a big one because, yeah, so people don't even realize that a lot of times, or I guess we talk about it more with kids, and it's not even necessarily that well known, or not. People for whatever reason aren't on the same page when it comes to education and being able to focus and taking care of your body. You have to be well fed, you have to be well rested, and B, taking care of your mind. If you're distracted, if you have other things going on, if there are a lot of times, again with kids and with adults too, if there's problems at home, you're not going to be focused at work. Or you're not going to be, you might feel like you're spinning your wheels in your business if you work for yourself. And it could be because there's something that is dragging you down emotionally and mentally and just physically in terms of your energy. And that can be yeah, that's your cue that you have an energy vampire in your life. Sign number three is escapism. I know a lot of us do that. I have worked definitely with business owners that, like everything falls on you when you own the business. But some of us struggle with scrolling social media all day, or we're in Facebook groups, which can be helpful to our business, but we spend a little bit too much time there. We don't get in, do what we have to do, and get out, and then reserve just like reading for another time when we're not on such a tight deadline or when we're not, following our plan for the day because it's important to stay on task and all that. Actually, I'm going to throw you a bonus here. So like a quick solution, like let's say you don't have some deeper issue going on and you're just kind of struggling with maintaining your focus even though social media is tempting. Set aside time to scroll social media. That way, while you're doing what you have to do, you know that in a half hour, you get your scheduled 5-minute social media break, you get it out of your system, then you get back on point with what you need to be doing. And, you're good till your next scheduled social media social media break. Anyway, that was an aside. So yeah, I was just saying that difficulty concentrating is a sign that you may have an energy vampire in your life that is sucking up all your mental energy. And so your mind keeps getting pulled away to that energy vampire, especially if you know a person who is histrionic and loves attention and loves drama and just wants everybody to be thinking about them every minute of the day. If you got one of those in your family, if you're married to one of those, whatever, I'm not going to say it. Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. That was escapism. I go on tangents sometimes. Escapism is the social media thing. If you're, scrolling social media, if you're surfing the internet, if you are, what's another good one? I don't know. Like if you're late coming back from lunch all the time, and not because like you're only given 15 minutes, but because you have enough time to eat, you just like get pulled away doing things you'd rather be doing. If you, oh yeah, like drugs, alcohol, that's escapism too. If you have a problem, like having a glass of wine, 3 times a week isn't necessarily escapism, but there's levels to it. Whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. If you're numbing which, by the way, I actually have a mini course on numbing yourself on my Patreon. I'll post the link somewhere and you can check it out. But anyway, so yeah, if you're filling your time with things, especially things that don't make you more productive, especially things that make you feel better, but they don't necessarily help you achieve your goal in a long-term sense, that's escapism, and that's a sign that really you have an energy vampire in your life, probably, that has not been addressed. But don't worry, we'll get to addressing all this stuff. I'm just trying to help you identify that the problem even exists. So, number 5 and final sign I'm gonna cover in this thing for now. Maybe I'll go back and do more, but you get 5 right now. The number 5 sign of an energy vampire lurking in your closets, under your bed, the backseat of your car, wherever, is you're always tired. And it's not because you have a metabolic disorder or because you're not eating right or because, it could be all those things. It's not because you're training for a marathon or something, but even if you get like 8 hours of sleep, you're just tired, and you are tired at work. You're tired when you get home. And the kicker is you will notice that you're extra tired when either it's time to do something you don't want to do, or when you think about certain things or certain people or certain events or certain places, or certain, responsibilities you have. That is a sign that there's something draining you and that you need to kind of evaluate your thought process and how you're allocating your time and energy to get to the bottom of this thing that is sucking you of your, like your resources, your energy, your attention span, all this stuff. And so anyway, those are the signs. That's why we have to get to the bottom of them, because we need our resources for ourselves, not just for other people. And that is actually the gist of what this whole thing is about. We get so focused on things outside of ourselves that at the end of the day, you're kind of like, well, I was going to work on this thing. I was going to build my business. I was going to hang out with a friend. I was going to, make myself a cup of tea and just, whatever. I was going to exercise. This is a big one. I was going to go to the gym, but, I got caught up in somebody else's foolery and now I don't even feel like it. Yeah. So that's just an example of how these energy vampires they eventually pull you off course. And then you look around and you're like, how did I get here in the middle of the woods? 3 months ago I had planned to do this and now I'm way over in West Texas when I'm supposed to be headed to Nebraska, like whatever. Maybe the way to Nebraska is not through Texas. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, you were on path A and somehow you're like, you've been diverted. So yeah, that's what energy vampires will ultimately do to you, which is why you need to identify them and address them. So yeah, so those are the signs. Now I'm going to quickly cover how you can delve deeper. So if you're experiencing any of those signs, it's absolutely necessary to delve deeper and to determine exactly what's causing you to feel this way. And a lot of us don't like to think about our feelings, don't like to talk about our feelings, but we need to in order to remain healthy and in order to avoid, having real big problems like depression, anxiety, resentment toward people and things, and you feeling like blaming ourselves for things that aren't our fault. All of that comes from not dealing with and processing things emotionally and mentally. And it's not necessarily a human flaw. Like in this day and age, it's very easy to get sidetracked and to look at output versus input and what's going on in our lives and internally. And to just focus on like what we're producing, what we're achieving, what we're accomplishing, what we're doing for somebody else, especially, like if you've got a boss and like deadlines to making and quotas and all that stuff, what you're doing for your family, what you're doing for your kids, but not what you're doing for you, when you are important, because you can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. So anyway, Um, yeah. So I'm a huge proponent of journaling. Truth be told, I don't journal every day. I don't really keep a journal, but what I mean when I say journaling is just like more like record keeping, recording, putting things in writing. I say that all the time, write it down. And so if you're a bullet journaler, you can appreciate what a mood tracker is. And so that's one way of tracking your like your emotions and how you feel. So you can look for patterns. And a lot of people who have depression and anxiety will do this so they can see on paper patterns that lead to, you know, big episodes, or like when they need, if you need your medicine adjusted, or if you need to talk to your counselor about some things, or if you're headed in one way or another, one drastic direction mood wise or another, especially if you have like bipolar disorder. um Mood trackers can help you. And yeah, if you're not a bullet journaler, I can provide you more info on that in another video. Just let me know. So what I am gonna say as far as your tracking method here, keep it simple. It can be like a sheet of paper you're writing on every day, or just that one day that you decide to do it. It could be a little notebook, whatever you got. It could be digital. I prefer paper, but it can be digital. Sometimes digital, you know, like it's your phone's always with you, so that I use Evernote on my phone. Um, for note taking too. So I do both, but there's something about paper. Anyway, so what you're gonna do is track your feelings for at least one day. Probably like do it for a week. I would say honestly do it a minimum of 3 days, but if you just hate it, then like at least commit to 24 hours and then review your results, and then hopefully you'll be motivated to see if there's a pattern. So, let's say you do it for one day. What you're gonna do, and it's good if you can write this down throughout the day. You don't necessarily have to if you are kind of like a minimalist in terms of tracking, but you have a good memory, because like you're gonna need to like know what went on with you throughout the day and not forget about it. Definitely sit down before bed. I'm a fan of like taking 15 minutes before you go to bed and reviewing your day and reviewing the next day ahead. On Sundays, review the week ahead. Um, but anyway, in this case, while you're doing your 15-minute pre-bedtime review, look at your notes, or if you haven't made notes, write this stuff down. What you're going to write down is one, how you felt overall. Um, and from that, you're going to break it down into, well, all right, let's call it. Yeah, all right. So 1A. 1A will be things that gave you positive feelings. So that's anytime you felt good or accomplished, you had high energy, you were enthusiastic, you were looking forward to something, you were excited. Is that a mosquito? I hope not. You're excited about something. Anytime you experience that during the day, even if it was very brief, write it down. Um, and so under 1A, you're going to also write down an explanation of what made you feel that way. So essentially, you're kind of like listing out all your positive moments throughout the day. Let's say Bob invited me to lunch with him. Um, and you know how you felt as a result of Bob inviting you to lunch. So, you know, we need the cause and effect. I felt happy because Bob invited me to lunch, because I've had my eye on Bob since he started working here. Anyway, in the marketing department, whatever. So, you're going to do that with your positive moments throughout the day, and you're also going to do that with your negative remote, or you're going to do during your review, you're going to do that for your positive moments as you're reflecting on things that felt good throughout the day, and you're going to reflect on things that did not feel good, and you're going to list your negative moments and what caused them. Angela talked over me on the conference call. And that made me angry because Angela's a jerk, or, you know, whatever. So you get the point. So positive and negative we're trying to find out how you felt throughout the day and what made you feel that way. And sorry I keep repeating that, but I just want it to make sense. And anyway. So and number two, the number two major question you're going to ask yourself is, what made me feel tired? If you didn't feel tired, just put that you didn't feel tired throughout the day. At any point you had high energy the whole time. If you did feel tired, what made you feel tired? When did it make you feel tired? Here we're looking for events, we're looking for people, whatever. Like, my mom called and asked me how my diet was going, and that, whatever. And she always criticizes me, so that made me feel tired and I missed the gym. Things like that, Basically, yeah, how you feel, what made you feel that way. And you're gonna document this for hopefully a week. I want you to commit to a week. Please at least do 3 days. If you can't do 3 days, just try one day and see. And if you're honest with yourself, you will start to notice patterns, or if there is no pattern, you'll be able to say, you know what, this is just a one-off thing and I'm back to feeling like myself. But the big thing is you'll know, and you'll start to get closer to detecting these energy vampires that are in your life, whether it's a thing, whether it's a task you've taken on, whether it's a role, whether you're like pulled in too many directions, committing to too much stuff, whether it's the distribution of responsibilities in your household, whatever it is, it'll start to surface. And this is just the beginning. So, yeah. Tomorrow we are going to cover a different type of energy vampire, potentially energy vampire, and that is people and relationships. So that should get interesting. Anyway, I hope you find this video helpful. Please, please, please comment, inbox me, DM me, whatever the kids are calling it these days. Whatever. Tell me if you want to hear more about this subject, more in depth, or if you have questions, if this struck a chord with you, questions about how to identify, how to like track your feelings and your moods. If you want to know what a mood tracker is, let me know. Suggest some other topics that you want me to talk about. Anything is fair game. Just don't be creepy, please. Not that any of you are creepy. My followers are nice, sweet angel babies. All of you. But, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I hope to hear some feedback from you if this topic resonates with you, because I know some of you were posting, oh, I want to learn how to put myself first, things like that. But yeah, until then, I will see you in the next video tomorrow. It's night right now, but it'll probably be morning when you see this, so have a great day.